Hey guys, welcome to the Magic the Blabbering podcast. This is episode number 21. This makes our podcast legal now, I think, right? We can,
Yep.
you know, have a drink on the episodes now. This is going to be a little bit different than what we normally do. We're going to be going through the Mardu Precon. We are Team Mardu, ambassador for this set, the Tarkir Dragonstorm, and I am a clan leader for Mardu. I love Mardu. We're going to take this deck and kind of do a little deck check with it, kind of upgrade it a little bit. We're gonna try to focus on cards from the new set. We're kind of limiting to about 20, cuts and replacements. So Nick is going to drive most of this conversation. I'm gonna act like I know what he's talking about. So Nick, I've got.
Yeah. So Team Mardu here. Super happy to be talking about Commander. This is kind of my main thing with Magic nowadays. And we decided, Josh was like, hey, I like the Zurgo from the main set, and so we decided that we were going to adapt the precon to use some more of the, in theme cards, and we switched the Commander from the Zurgo from the precon to Zurgo Thunder's Decree.
Yeah.
And I kind of adapted the deck a little bit around that, so a lot of cuts and stuff are reflective of those differences.
And I'm gonna be piloting this deck on stream. All right, so April 7th, I'm gonna be piloting this on Benji. If you don't know who that is, I will link his channel down here in the description. I'm going to be piloting this deck over on stream there. Nick did all the heavy lifting, and
yeah. So I'm kind of happy. This is my wheelhouse. This is what I like to do: is build Commander decks and try to tweak them, upgrade them. I love. This was I went back to one of my old annals and found a Sylvar and Trin deck back from my Korea that was Mardu, and I went and looked for a little bit of inspiration because when we switched our Zurgos, the big difference between the Zurgo from the Precon and Zurgo Thunder's Decree is Zurgo Thunder's Decree is more about making a big army, where the other Zurgo is like, hey, can I sacrifice and get rid of my tokens? So let me start off by reading the Zurgo we chose to use. Zurgo Thunder's Decree, red, white, and black for a legendary Orc Warrior. He has Mobilize 2. If you don't know what Mobilize is, it's when this creature attacks, you create that many 1/1 red warrior creature tokens tapped and attacking, and you sacrifice them at the beginning of your end step. Well, luckily for us, Zurgo says during your end step, warrior tokens you control have this creature can't be sacrificed. And he's a 2/4, so he's got a big butt, so he can kind of like tussle in combat a little bit. Going through the deck, I went and decided that I wanted to get more anthems, more ways to get evasive, a little bit more card advantage because we're kind of struggling with that, and maybe tickle around the mana base a little bit. Coming to the first card I added to the deck because we want to be on theme, and this card's pretty sweet. Loving to play with it. It's the enchantment All Out Assault. 2 red, white, and black for mythic enchantment. Creatures you control get +1/+1 and have death touch. When this enchantment enters, if it's your main phase, there's an additional combat phase after this phase, followed by an additional main phase. When you next attack this turn, untap each creature you control. So another weird way to get an extra in combat because those cards are always worded so weird, but this enchantment's pretty cool. It gives your tokens, they're not easy to chump block anymore because you get the death touch, and you get a double up on your tokens. So this produces at least 6 extra damage if you just have Zurgo. So pretty sweet card. Pretty happy to add that one in, and it's on theme. It's on the Mardu Con. It's got the watermark. Looking forward to mess with that.
I did want to mention with this card, you did point out that yes, you do get the extra combats, but those tokens that you that come in with Zurgo do not have haste, so they will be setting out the additional combat steps unless you have a way to give them haste. So you are making more tokens, but they can't attack that same turn in that combat. So they can attack once, and then they're like, "Oh, I'm too tired," and have to sit out for a little bit. But
well, at least they can chump block because they still get untapped.
They can,
and
yeah.
You get to keep them, so
they
it's not a total loss, but yeah,
pseudo vigilance.
Pseudo vigilance, yeah, that's right. Okay, true, yeah. I remember noticing that, but yeah, it didn't come to mind. I'm glad you brought that up for the rules for people, so you don't get stuck on like, oh, I did this, and then oops.
Yeah.
But yeah, when I was going through the deck, there was a lot of mana rocks, and this deck really has a pretty low curve. I think it was under like average of 4.
Yeah,
and
I've played this deck a few times, and I've been sitting here under so many lands, just not being able to do anything. So yeah, I think cutting that stuff, I think is probably smart.
Yeah, so I didn't go down in mana sources. I just wanted my mana sources to not cost me mana. Like, why am I'm a beatdown deck? I just want to play a dude, play a thing that makes my dude hard to block, and then just keep attacking. So why would I invest mana if I'm not really, I'm not a deck that's accruing value outside of attacking, so all my permanents are cheap, so I might as well just, play something that gives me an ability. So I decided to slot in Arena of Glory over something like Felwar Stone, just because Zurgo, he's going to die. And really for aggressive decks, you want to have that turn of haste, that turn to just come out swinging so you can keep the pressure on. So, board wipes and stuff, you're like, boom, he's back. You don't really care too much about that exert ability. And let me read Arena of Glory for you. It's Arena of Glory. It's a land from Modern Horizons 3. It enters the battlefield tapped unless you control a mountain. And then it taps for red, or you can pay a red and tap it to exert Arena of Glory to add 2 red. If that mana is spent on a creature spell, it gains haste until the end of the turn. And what exert means is, as an exerted permanent can't untap during your next untap step. So you lose a mana for next turn, but you don't really care because most likely your commander's getting its job in, and it's not going to just get eaten by a sweeper. And if it is, you at least get some value out of it before that time. So pretty good. Felt like it's better to just drop that into play so that, if your Zurgo dies, you have a land on turn 5 that can just throw him back into play swinging. Next, asked by Josh, because he opened a sweet version of this card. Arid Mesa, we put in, switch for a mountain. I know, it's not really a budget card, but a sweet card nonetheless. Just on theme, it's very Mardu. It's our fetch land. Very happy to see that one in. So if you don't know the power of fetch lands, some of the most powerful cards in Magic of all time, probably the best dual lands ever made. Just, plenty of competitive legacy. If you don't know what fetch land is, Arid Mesa, land, tap, pay 1 life, sacrifice Arid Mesa Sigil Library for a mountain or planescard put on the battlefield tapped, or put it on the battlefield, not tapped. I don't think I've even read one of those aloud in like 20 years, probably, because I've just been playing these cards forever. They get any type. If you get your Triomes from Ikoria in this deck, you'll be able to get that straight on turn 1, have your mana really fixed up good.
Yep.
And well. Gets a lot of your budget dual lands from like Dominaria and stuff, so great cards always. And next I want to talk about Baron Step Siege, enchantment for 2, a white and a black. As this enchantment enters, choose Abzan or Mardu. Abzan, at the beginning of your end step, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. Mardu, at the beginning of your end step, if a creature died under your control this turn, each opponent sacrifices a creature of their choice. So, interesting to see that they wrote of your choice on there instead of just sacrificing the creature. Not interesting change of verbiage for that. But this card's actually sweet for our deck because actually the Abzan mode might be better a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Ironically.
Yeah.
So, but also it's nice because I can swing in. You can, to somebody who can obviously chump my tokens, and they're like, sure, I'll block. And you're like, cool. Everyone sacks a creature, right? When you play second main phase with your Baron Step Siege. So can't beat that one. I just felt like this was 2 on theme, buffs our dudes every turn, or makes our guys just keep making the field open so we can keep swinging. So pretty hyped for that one. Next, we have Cathar's Crusade. I don't know if any of you have played with this card. It's kind of was the big overrunny type card for white for a long time in Commander. Came out in Avacyn Restored. Cathar's Crusade is 3 white enchantment. Whenever a creature you control enters the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. So this card's pretty cool, but you better bring a lot of dice. Kind of is a bit of a mess. If you have a bunch of creatures enter together, it's a lot better. Like you do with Zurgo, you get both tokens at the same time. They get all the value of the tokens, so your two 1/1s become 2 3/3s, which is pretty nice. It's a dice nightmare, but the card is just so good you really can't miss it. Until it was reprinted recently, I think it was a bit of a pricey card, but I think it was in Innistrad Remastered.
Yep, that's the version you're looking at right now. The movie poster version. Yeah, so there's a card in here in the deck called Gold Knight Commander.
Yes.
It does basically the same thing. It doesn't put counters on, but it does buff your creatures till the end of turn in. I had that card out at one point while I played this deck, and yes, it is a ton of math because you have creatures that come in before combat, you have creatures come in during combat. It got pretty nuts. And I had the hero of Hero of Bladehold? Is that the
the one with Battle Cry?
And so I had the Battle Cry math. It was absolutely nuts.
But, a tally. Stack up all your guys who were like, okay, I've been here together at the same time. These ones got it all. This one's got this.
Yeah.
I love doing that type of stuff. Honestly, that's my favorite thing in Magic, when it's like, attack you. Count. Like, all right.
Yeah.
I've got my abacus. You are dead.
I needed a scientific calculator for that one.
Yeah. No, and the Gold Knight Commander is also really good in this deck. It might look a little poopy when you just read the cards, like, what, a 4-mana 2/2? Like,
Yeah, no,
It doesn't even do anything when you play it. No, it's where it's at. You want that, and
yeah.
people might underrate it. You play it, they're like whatever, and then like, cool, my turn. Swing with everything, and then surprise. And there's, we kept ourselves to a 20 card limit, so we didn't get every cool thing, but if you have like the Kolagon, like the Blitz creatures from the previous Tarkir,
Mm-hmm.
those will work really well with that type of effect, which is really cool. So, and I love getting my theme up. Next, another land I switched out for a Mana Rock. And it's one of the lands from the set that's all about Mardu. It's the Dalkovan encampment. You can see their little mobile huts there, or I don't know what you call those, yurts.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a land, and it says this land enters tapped unless you control a swamp or a mountain, which is kind of cool to see on a plains style land. It taps for a white. 2 and a white tap. Whenever you attack this turn, create 2/1/1 red warrior creature tokens tapped and attacking. Sacrifice them at the beginning of your next end step. So you just get a double up on your Zergo triggers for some mana. Like, no big deal.
Yep.
Like, total free roll. Love it. Love to stay on theme. Next, we have Dolmen's Gate. So this card has a weird storied history for me. We've been playing it since Lorwyn.
Yeah.
Can never tell if this card was good or bad or the best card ever. It's when you played it against it in standard, like there were certain times where you're like, oh, this ding dong, this card doesn't do anything. Back in the day, because they draw the second one, they're like, I need a creature to kill you, but I have another gate. But in Commander, it's had a bit more of a storied time because you just swing in on all the time, you get all your triggers constantly. So for this deck, it's kind of that perfect like turn off my brain swing. It could get you into a bit of a sticky wicket if somebody blows it up in the middle of combat. But
Yeah.
are they really going to kill a Dolmen's Gate? Like, there's way more scary artifacts running around. Probably going to kill something else first. So
Go ahead.
great.
Go ahead. We need to read that card though.
Oh yeah, Dolmen's Gate. It's a 2 mana artifact. Prevent all combat damage that would be dealt to attacking creatures you control. So yeah, you can swing in. Your opponent's block. Nothing happens to your creatures.
Yeah.
Your creatures still kill their creatures, so they're not even incentivized to chump if it's a bad line. So if we have like some of those enchantments from before that have made them huge, or give my guys Death Touch, you're definitely not blocking. So
I think
just a good way to amass our army.
Isn't this the only printing of this card? Is Lorwyn?
No, they've made it on the list, and I think it was in a
Okay.
secret lair.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's not many. I think it's like 3 times total.
Yeah.
I think when it was secret layered, they were like, "Oh my gosh, this is the only time you get a foil Dolmen's Gate since Lorwyn." So
Yeah.
I'm sure it's gonna finally have its third coming. But yeah, I love the card. All right, Elspeth Stormslayer. As you can see, I added to my list the fanciest version just because Josh opened the fanciest version possible, of course. If you don't know this card, you're gonna get familiar with it. It's gonna be a familiar face. Elspeth Stormslayer, 3 white, legendary planeswalker Elspeth, mythic. If one or more tokens would be created under your control, twice that many tokens are created instead. +1, create a 1/1 white soldier creature token, which is basically 2.
Yeah.
0, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. Those creatures gain flying until your next turn.
Yeah.
-3, destroy target creature an opponent controls with mana value 3 or greater. And it starts with 5 loyalty.
Yeah.
So, what a card. Perfect for this deck. I double my attacking tokens immediately. I can give them all flying if I'm already ahead.
Mm-hmm.
I can chump for my Elspeth. Really just... This is the new doubling season in my mind. Like,
Yeah.
no wonder this card's $400. I see the $400 sign right on this. I'm like, yep, that's the new doubling season. And it's sweet because it's on one of my favorite planeswalkers of all time. Just can't beat it, Shards of Lara Planeswalker all the way over here in Tarkir, slaying dragons. Like, oof.
Yeah, it was like
that's going to feel good to play.
It was like a whole family reunion. We had Sarkon, we had Elspeth,
a Johnny,
yeah.
Nicol Bolas.
Yeah, Nicol.
We're just missing Tezzeret, and I think he's coming up next. So it's awesome, man.
Yeah, when I saw this card, I was like, yeah, this is definitely going in a lot of decks. And I mean, any white deck, really, any deck that plays white, this, man, it's
yeah.
Well,
it blows my mind because this card, I didn't expect this card from this set. I was expecting to see the Ugin, and yes, Ugin is amazing. But like in my mind, this card is more powerful. I was like, out of the left field, just the best Elspeth I think we've ever seen, which really kind of hurts my heart to say because Knight Errant used to be the one, and then I think Sun's Champion was the best one for years. Like I have the little chibi one, so we have a new contender. So happy to see it. Happy to see Elspeth still rocking it. But a great addition to this deck. Great addition to Team Mardu. I don't know why in the story she's hanging out with the Just Guy. She's Mardu only. I haven't read the whole story. Maybe she gets there. But the next card we got is Gornog the Red Reaper. So this one was a sweet pickup. So while I was deck building, you got to consult EDH rec a little bit. And actually, people were kind of taking my idea, but there was too many cards to make happen. Where I was trying to go, oh, what if I went Warrior Tribal and you make copies of the real Warrior cards, and then you got to keep them around because of Zergo. So that's a fun way, and other people are doing it.
Yeah.
Well, while I was on that quest, I was like, what other cards work with just warriors? And Gornog appeared. So let me read Gornog to you. He's a sweet card from what's that thing called?
Jumpstart.
Jumpstart from a set ago, I think. For 200 red, he's a legendary creature, Minotaur warrior. He has haste. He says cowards can't block warriors, as it should be. Whenever one or more warriors you control attack a player, target creature that player controls becomes a coward permanently. That's it. It's not until end of turn. Just you're a coward now. Attacking warriors you control get +X/+O, where X is the number of cowards your opponents control. So this card's sweet.
It seems like it's made for this deck.
Yeah, he might as well just have partners with Zergo on his text box. Just put him in the command zone right next to him.
Yeah.
Love this card. 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
But yeah, when he attacks, you're just going to be like, hey, swing with Zergo, swing with these boys. They're all +1 now. That thing can't block. Dome ya. The next turn, they're all +2. Just, you get your enchantment that gives you 2 attacks. Oh my goodness. Whap, whap. So,
I
love this card.
I didn't realize it wasn't until end of turn either on the cowards thing, so that's even better.
Forever a coward. Once labeled a coward, you're forever a coward. And it says becomes, so I believe that actually gets rid of your other creature types too. So it's not an addition. You are no longer a zombie. You're no longer a dinosaur. You're just a chicken. So kind of love that. I guess dinosaurs are chickens or something. I think that's how the story goes. But return to chicken. So the next card we have on the list that I added into the deck is Aroas, God of Victory. For 2, a red and a white. It's a legendary enchantment creature god. It's indestructible and has, as long as your devotion to red and white is 7, Aroas isn't a creature. So that means is less than 7. It isn't a creature. So what that means is you need to have that many mana symbols in play that equal 7 among white and red on permanents you control to make it have enough devotion to become a creature. And then it says creatures you control have menace. Prevent all damage that would be dealt to attacking creatures you control, and it's a 7/4. So this is just our indestructible Dolmen's Gate and menace.
Yeah.
So push more damage and you can't kill me. And it's indestructible, and it's an enchantment most of the time. So even though it's going to kind of be a little bit more difficult in the 3-color deck to turn Aroas on, I don't think we can pass up the benefits of those 2 abilities.
Yeah, I mean, if you've got Zergo out, you've got 2 of those symbols right there, right off the bat,
Yeah, so it's a 4, so you just need 2 more cards maybe most of the time. And this deck, the original deck list was predominantly white, and then equally black and red, but I'd say it's 60% white, and then it was 20% black, 20% red. And I tried to keep that in mind when I was editing it.
Yeah.
So then that kind of makes sense for kind of what Mardu's about now. It's like, oh, Mardu's back to being white, so it's about community, it's about making tokens, white's the token color. So it's kind of funny though, because I think in the lore, red was more like the focus of it's supposed to be the focus.
Yeah, so if you look at the Mardu cards, or actually all the cards from any of the cons block, the way they have the set symbols printed on the cards, they have the main color for the con on the left, and then they have so the main color for the con is on the left, and then they have the other colors, but also the allied colors are on the outsides, and then the color in the middle is enemies with both of the colors on either side.
Right.
Of it. So, but yeah, so if you look at Abzan is white, Marty's red, Jeskai blue, Teemer's green, and Sultai's black. So if you look at the mana symbols on the cards, then you can see what their primary color is, and that kind of if you go look at through Fate Reforged and Dragons of Tarkir, it's kind of the same way, because they all lost a color in those sets. And so so
that's kind of fascinating.
Yeah, I don't remember where I heard that. It was from one of the Wizard streams. I think they were talking about the symbols on the cards. That the one on the left is the focus of the clan. So
that's super cool.
Yeah,
I mean that's awesome. It really puts identity. I wonder if this is just me spitballing. I haven't looked at all the other deck lists to be sure, but now I wonder if because they added back the old color, if the color balance is shifted to the add-in color on all of them. So is the Sultai more green this time in all of the precons? That'd be interesting to know. Yes, it's still the red clan, but in this iteration, maybe we focused on a different aspect.
Right.
Just a thought. I don't know.
Yeah.
It could just be how they built this deck.
Could
But
be too. Yeah.
I love those like, oh, we were so smart. We made this really in depth thought on it. Who knows?
Yeah, because if you look at the cards from like Fate Reforged, they have the hybrid mana symbols on the. So like for example, you have the Abzan card.
Abs-
It's green. You have a green card, but it has white and black hybrid symbols on it. So like that.
oh,
Yeah. So they like lost their main color and went to green or whatever. So
oh, okay, yeah, that's true.
yeah.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
That was the mini cons in the Fate Reforged time, right? Like the
Yeah.
pre-cons or whatever, like Dagatar and those ones, yeah. Or Yusova Dragonclaw was like green, but then she had a blue and red ability, yeah.
Yeah. And
Very cool.
Soulfire Grandmaster was white
Yep.
with red and blue pips.
Yep, and Shu Yun was their legend. Yeah, they did that
Mm-hmm.
too. Yeah. It
Yeah.
was a very cool cycle. There was like 2 cycles for each back then.
Mm-hmm.
So the next card we have is another Lorwyn classic, Obsidian Battle Axe.
That's
Okay.
Morning Tide.
Yeah, Morning Tide. So not Lorwyn, Morning Tide.
Same
Tribal
plane.
artifact. What'd you say?
The same plane, yeah.
Yeah, same plane, same plane. So also the same time of day on the plane.
Yeah.
So Obsidian Battle Axe, sweet old card, 3 colorless. I haven't played this card in a deck in years, so I was very hyped to put this in. Tribal artifact, so that's now a kindred artifact for all you newer players. Warrior equipment. Whenever equipped creature gets +2/+1 and has haste. Whenever a warrior comes into play, you may attach Obsidian Battle Axe to it. 3 to equip. So Zurgo's gonna die, and sometimes it's better to not cast your commander, but play the setup card so that people sitting there trying to pinch you with instants can't really interact with you as conveniently as they normally could. Being a red player, a lot of times, maybe I'll have a commander that I want to smack somebody with, but I don't want them to like, I see them sitting there with all their mana and they're like, I can't have you play it this turn. It's like, cool, well, here's my other thing instead. So this is like a great setup card. So instead of on turn 3 being like, here's my Zurgo, go for it. You're like, and you see him with untapped mana, you're like, okay, well, here's my Obsidian Battle Axe. The next turn, slap, hit you when it's less convenient for you.
Yeah.
Also, you can have mana up for tricks. Like you'll have your 4th mana, so you can be like, Zurgo, a protection spell, get in there, and then get the engine rolling. Great card. It auto equips. The equip cost is super steep, so like when you don't have a warrior, it's kind of like, But I think it outweighs. They already have Lightning Greaves in the deck, so this is just like another fun way to like keep Zurgo going. There's been a lot. They've been making a lot more of these, but I was happy to put in a classic here. And again, if you lean more into that warrior aspect, you can get a lot more fun out of the card. All right, next up is a card I put in every. I don't think there's ever been a time I'm playing a 3-color deck that has black in it that I'm not playing Painful Truce. Painful Truce, 2 in a black. It's a sorcery. It has Converge. You pay X or you draw X cards and lose X life, where X is the number of colors of mana you spent to cast it. So white, red, black, draw 3 cards. It is the truth. They've reprinted a bunch of times. I don't know why it's not in all of these precons for all the black decks. So one thing that happens in Commander is, unlike in regular formats, you gotta keep your card economy up, especially when you're in a deck like this. Once you get hit with the farewell, when things don't go super great, you gotta rebuild, and sometimes you gotta draw some cards. And these types of decks want to have efficient card draw, and it doesn't get more efficient than 3 mana draw 3. I mean, unless you're on Ancestral Recall, and that's banned. So, but it's just really efficient, and can't say much more. I would have really went more on the nuts and bolts. I'm very nuts and boltsy. I probably would have put in like a Myriad Landscape and some other fun stuff to really like, make my game smoother. But Painful Truce, I would put it in every one of your decks if you're playing one of the black clans. I just can't say enough about this card. I've been playing it since the day it was printed, and I will be playing it probably forever.
Yeah.
Other ones to add if you're looking for more cheap card draw, Siphon Mind came to mind. I would put that in this deck. It pressures the hand a little bit. You draw some cards. Another card that's like, hey, look, they wrath me, whatever. Draw some cards. And drawing those cards are great because after your Zurgo dies a few times, if the game's going long, you can just draw some extra lands, play your Zurgo. Every bonus land you get, this is why I want more lands in the deck. You can just keep playing your commander and just keep getting ahead.
There is a deadly dispute in this deck for card draw, which you did cut. But I think Painful Truths is probably better.
So I actually cut Deadly Dispute because the other Zurgo, it was better with him because you could basically turn it into a draw 3. But draw 2s are a little funny because you're not super getting ahead. You're like, and also that one asks you for a resource. And with our goal with this Zurgo is we're trying to amass tokens, so I don't really want to be sacrificing. Like, if things are gonna die, they're gonna die. I'd rather just keep making tokens. If I'm gonna put some grave packs in here and get a little bit more sacrificey, then yeah, I think it would be better. But that's not the way I'm trying to go. I'm trying to go wide and overrun more so than try to, keep. I want more impact out of my tokens quickly, where it's not as stable of a supply of tokens like other commanders will kind of give you. Next up, we have Professional Facebreaker, 2 in a red for a human warrior creature with Menace. Whenever one or more creatures you control deal combat damage to a player, create a treasure token. Sacrifice a treasure token, exile top card of your library. You may play that card this turn, and it's a 2/3. So I didn't realize this card was a warrior. I've been playing this card a lot. Card is the truth.
You know what? I didn't realize it was a warrior till I just looked at the screen right now when I put the card up.
Yeah, it happened to come up as a warrior on top of everything else that's great about this card. There was a dragon that came in this deck. It's called Gold Lust Triad. It's one of the cards we cut. It's similar to Professional Facebreaker. What it does is it's 4 in a red for a creature dragon with flying and myriad. Whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, create a treasure token, and it's 4/3. And you might be like, Nick, why would you put in a little baby instead of the big dragon? That's cool on flavor with the set. And I will tell you, because Professional Facebreaker on turn 4 is basically free if I swing with Zurgo. Yeah, so let's say I swing with Zurgo and everyone can't block for whatever reason, like I have a Dolmen Gate or something. I swing out, I swing on 3 people, I get to get 3 treasures immediately. So now my Professional Facebreaker is free, and I can play another card, or I can flip cards off the top of my deck, maybe hit a land drop if I missed one. Maybe they're both good, but I feel like getting that quick of a return when we're trying to be that aggressive is crazy. And you can like cast some giant spell that is way ahead of schedule. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure anyone who watches Commander content knows Professional Facebreaker has been breaking plenty of faces. So Reconnaissance, 1 mana, 1 white, enchantment, pay 0, return, remove target attacking creature you control from combat and untap it. So this card's kind of goofy, but basically it's Dolmen Gate for 1 in a sense. Now it's worse than Dolmen's Gate because you don't get to kill their things. Maybe if you give First Strike or something, but this is just a way to just keep cranking out dudes, keep attacking, getting all my attack triggers at no cost to me. Just kind of like Maze of Ithing my own guys in a sense. Pretty useful, kind of lets you get a little crazy, and it's such a low investment. You just drop it on turn 1. You can drop it a little later if you want to surprise, sandbag, but it's just such a low investment of resources. Can't say enough about it. It's from Exodus, and they finally reprinted it in Assassin's Creed. So for those of you who have been missing out on that card, it is back, it is here, and it has a few other places to be played too. All right, so Ruinous Ultimatum. You all know this card. The deck had Our Reckoning in it, which is a semi one-sided sweeper. Ruinous Ultimatum is red, white, black for sorcery, and it literally just reads destroy all non-land permanents your opponent's control. I figured, if we're gonna blow stuff up, how about we blow up none of our stuff and all of their stuff?
Yeah.
Love this card. Love the new art. It is fantastic. Josh got this sick super promo. It is beautiful. I need to get a copy for myself. It's just so gorgeous.
Yeah.
But I'm happy to see this card. Looks so cool. It has Nerev or Nerevi or whatever the dragon's name is. Just like nuking whomever. So
I love the flavor text on here. It says strength comes from community. Together we can destroy any enemy.
Yeah. Disgusting. Yeah, that's the Mardu way right there.
Yeah.
Boom! You're all dead. That card has been ending Commander games around here for around when I play all the time, so
yeah,
just feels good, is good. If you haven't played with that card, and you want the 3-color experience, it is all there. I still play with Plague Wind to this day, which is a 9 mana, just kill all your opponent's creatures, and this just does it all. So
yeah.
You're in a sticky wicket. It's over. Tome of Legends is the next card we're going to go over. It's a 2 mana artifact. Tome of Legends enters the battlefield with a page counter on it. Whenever your commander enters the battlefield or attacks, put a page counter on Tome of Legends. Pay 1, tap it, remove a page counter from Tome of Legends, draw a card. So I've been playing this card ever since the Brawl decks came out, and if you have a small commander, even a bigger commander, or a commander that likes to attack, this card is like endless value. I don't know how many games where you can have like a kind of middling hand. You play this card, you draw a card, it puts you into your next land, you get going, and then you just have an endless supply of cards. Like you never miss a land drop. You're full of cards. They wrath you, whatever. And I've never had anyone really kill my Tome of Legends that often. And usually, if they do, I I've already drawn a
You've
couple
already,
cards. So
yeah, you've already gotten the value out of it.
yeah, so turn two playing this, it's just like they don't even want to kill your commander because it's like, well, there's this thing in Commander that happens where so like if they can just snipe one thing and take you totally off your game, they're like, sweet, I will do it. You know, I'll make the commitment, I'll lose the resource, I'll kill your one thing. But when it feels like they've already got a few, people just go crazy and just let it overflow. This is the Ristic study phenomena where he let you draw. So I guess we'll all let you draw. Oh sweet, I just drew 7 cards. Like it's that phenomena, whatever that is, whatever sunken cost fallacy, I don't know. Whatever it is, in for a penny, in for a pound, I don't know.
Yeah.
But just it's that type of thing, and also it's just innocuous. It happens so early in the game, people just let it kind of roll. I've played it many times. I'm just like, I kill all my stuff, play my commander, play my commander. So if you haven't been playing with Tome Legends, it is such a cheap card. It can go in so many decks. I mean, I would throw it in any deck if I'm super casual and I just want to keep playing my cards and my commander doesn't do much anything. Now my commander draws me a card, so I'll just keep casting every time it dies, even if it's pirate ship. But yeah, great card, high energy for cheap commanders. Next, another card Josh doesn't have in his arsenal. Ultramarines Honor Guard. This is
Yeah.
3 and a white for a creature, Astartes Warrior. Squad 2. As an additional cost to cast this spell, you may pay 2 any number of times. This creature enters, create that many token copies of it. And then it just reads, other creatures you control get +1/+1, and it's a 2/2. So there are a few other anthems in this deck. This one I thought was cute because it's a warrior. It's more on theme. And then if you're on that warrior theme, you can kind of multiply it out some more. But this card is an amazing top deck. Like in the late game, you're like, here's 3 dudes, and they're all +3/+3, or they're all +2/+2, but all my guys get +3/+3. I mean, if the game goes on long enough, you're talking 4/4, 5/5. It just scales really well in the late game. Maybe not the most awesome card, but also you can kind of sometimes get in the mid game where you're just playing it for 2 copies or 1 copy. Like just playing this for 1 copy on a Zergo on turn 4 is actually a lot of damage. That's an extra 3 every turn, and you might not want to block, or you'll just get a lot of extra value out of it for no reason. Big fan. It's a card from the 40k decks. I really love this mechanic, so it's worth a shot. A little hidden gem. I don't think everyone knows about the squad guys. All right, next we have Voice of Victory for 1 and a white, a human human bard. It has Mobilize 2, and it says your opponents can't cast spells during your turn, and it's a 1/3. So this card's awesome.
Yeah.
It's awesome in like every way possible. It's not quite Grand Abolisher, but it's enough of a Grand Abolisher that, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
And on top of that, it combos with our commander and it curves into our commander. So 10 out of 10. You play this guy on turn 2, you swing, you get some guys, you play Zergo, you get to keep those guys, and they're not countering your Zergo. I mean, kind of perfect sauce right there. And just, you're going to play this card in a bunch of decks. If you had it for this deck, great card from the main set to just put in. Just so many games of Commander where you just want to just slam it's a counterspell bait, and if it's not a counterspell bait, it's carte blanche. Just do whatever you want to everyone else, and play this guy, then cast a Ruinous Ultimatum. No big deal.
I mean, Mobilize 2 is a big deal on this. On turn 2. Wow.
Yeah, you're swinging for 3, and then you get to keep them with Zergo.
Yeah.
You're like, these are permanent now.
Right.
And the cool thing about Zergo is you just have to pass that end of turn 1 time, and you keep those even if Zergo leaves. So it's not like you got to have that check every turn.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're making so many dudes.
The thing about this card that I love is it reminds me of Mad Max, like the guitar player on Mad Max. You know what I'm talking about? Where he's the big war rig. This is like just a cons version of that. I think it's hilarious.
Yeah, and it looks like, I don't know, that looks kind of like one of those other type of instruments. Like it's not a guitar, it's like some other.
Yeah.
It almost reminds me of the kodos or whatever, but this is obviously probably not a Japanese instrument, but it's something similar. So I'm kind of cool on that. All right, next is War Leader's Call. 1 red and a white enchantment. Creatures you control get +1/+1. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, War Leader's Call deals 1 damage to each opponent. This was a card. I don't think it's a sleeper really anymore, but this was like the good card from Markov Manor. When it came out, it was like this card, the mole, and like the surveil lands. And I think I was even one of those people who was like, who cares about these surveil lands? And I was like, oh my gosh, I was so wrong.
Yeah.
But this card is so good. Impact Tremors with an Anthem, just can't beat it. It's just can't beat it. It's too good. I mean, I didn't add Impact Tremors because I felt like it was a little too soft, but this makes the tokens hit harder. Just, if you're even just slapping Zerg around a little bit occasionally. You're just extra damage, extra damage, extra damage, and
Yeah,
sweet. I love this card's art. It's beautiful.
it is.
Next we have Wind Crag Siege. This is another one of the split con enchantments. Josh doesn't have this card
Yet.
yet.
Yeah.
Yep, he's in the process. Actually, we're still pre-release, right? Like there's still not even
Yeah,
you
this will
can't get the
come out.
cards in hand yet.
This will come
So
out Friday. So
yeah, so
I,
I'm giving him guff that he has most of the special cards, just not every special card.
I have this to open up still. This booster box.
Ooh,
I haven't
yeah.
opened this play booster box up yet. So
See, it's all in there. You should open it first, see? But he needs to
I should
record
have.
that and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
So we have Wind Crag Siege. So this is the Mardu Jeskai crossover. So one red and a white for an enchantment. When this enchantment enters, choose Mardu or Jeskai. Mardu, if a creature attacking causes a triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger, that ability triggers an additional time. Say triggered 5 times fast. So, and then for Jeskai, it says at the beginning of your upkeep, create a 1/1 red goblin creature token. It gains lifelink and haste until end of turn. So yeah, Zergo multiplied.
Yeah.
When he attacks, you get an extra trigger. When your hero Bladehold attacks, you get an extra trigger. When you you mobilize twice.
Yeah.
Can't get enough of that. And then if worse comes to worse, you get a goblin every turn. Hope it doesn't come to that, but
Yeah.
also a great card for Ishan decks too.
I don't think I'm picking that. I think I'm picking just Mardu.
Yeah, just Mardu all day. So yeah, it's pretty bad for that, honestly. Haven't seen it's like Goblin Assault, like oof. That's like old Shards of Valar card that's not even good anymore. Yeah, lastly we have Nadir's Nightblade, 2 and a black for an elf warrior creature from MH3. Whenever a token you control leaves the battlefield, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life for 1/3. I'm sure you guys have kind of probably played against this card before. It's kind of insidious how powerful this card is. It's just chilling out there as like in this deck, it's mostly like a incentive to don't sweep my board, but then you're kind of in this like damned if you do, damned if you don't. So now you have to, but I get a ton of life out of it. And if you get more into that like copying style version of this deck, and you start copying this warrior elf, by the way, warrior, you're gonna have 3 Nadir's Nightblades. It's like you jump, you don't jump, you block, you're losing every way. Card is off the wall. But yeah, those are the 20, I think maybe 21 additions we made to the deck.
I think it was 21. Yeah.
Yeah. So just a soft upgrade. Definitely a lot more we could do, but I definitely, for our podcast sake, and this is just the highlights, what Josh is going to play with and see if he can win on his stream. But yeah, so I'm excited to see the results of that.
Let's talk about some cards real quick that I thought that you would have included that you didn't, and you can tell me why. The first one is Secure the Waste.
So Secure the Waste is good. Nothing wrong with the card. It just doesn't make it. This deck doesn't make a lot of mana. There's like a couple of outlets to making a lot of mana, but this deck doesn't make a lot. So making 3 or 4 guys randomly isn't that great. Now, there's a bunch of cards inside of the deck that it's probably better than, like the card that makes 4 dogs. It's probably a bit better than that.
Yeah.
So it would be a good upgrade for some of these cards, but I did not choose to upgrade it immediately. But that'd be a great include.
So I've got a up here on the screen Grand Crescendo, which is in the deck, and it's an instant. It says create X 1/1 green and white citizen creature tokens. Creatures you control gain indestructible till end of turn. So it's X white. So it's in the deck. I think, like, if you were to pick between the two, what would you pick? Would you pick Secure the Waste or Grand Crescendo?
I'd pick Grand Crescendo because of the nature of Commander with all the sweepers.
Okay.
Because I can just play that for 2 and keep all my guys alive.
Yeah.
Assuming, no, that's granted that we keep the deck leaning towards white mana, because double white is actually a cost, and we're going to be playing 3 color cards.
Yeah.
So if that pinch actually ends up mattering, like it might be better to be, if I'm trying to have a protection spell, it might be better to be like Boros Charm. But if I really want that instant speed tokens, I would choose Secure the Waste if that's really what I'm more leaning for the card to do. That's the cool thing about the Grand Crescendo, is it kind of plays both roles, but it has drawbacks because our mana is going to be pinched for being 3 color. So Secure the Waste might be a good alternative. Boros Charm might be a good alternative to that. So
yeah, also Secure the Waste is Warriors, which if we're playing the Warriors and Cowards game, I think is relevant too. So
yeah.
I might include that instead of Grand Crescendo. I'm not sure on those two. So yeah, another card that I thought about for this deck is Bone Karen Butcher. It's 1 in Mardu colors. It's a demon, a 4/4, has mobilize 2, and then attacking tokens you control have Death Touch.
Yeah, so I do think this card is good addition to the deck. It's a little slow because of the fact that it's not going to swing in the turn it enters, but it is great when our commander is out, giving
Yeah.
the tokens death touch. I just felt it was a little worse than some of the options that um, give all of my creatures a bonus, like Dolmen's Gate or
Same.
Reconnaissance. Like, hey, all my things get an effect, but it's
Yeah.
not bad. I definitely think giving a couple extra slots, I think it's worth trying, and I think
Okay.
being on theme, it's a great card.
So yeah, so
So
here's another one, Thunder of Unity. This is an enchantment, a saga from the new set. It's just Mardu colors, red, white, black. And then the first step is you draw 2 cards, lose 2 life. And then the last 2 chapters are whenever a creature you control enters this turn, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life.
yeah, so this card is good. I like what it does. It's hard to cast. It's a big commitment, and then its value is very tied to how many tokens I can put into play at the same time in those turns.
Yeah, that's true.
Obviously, we can get 2, and that's fine. Like draw 2. The first effect's great because it's like kind of never dead, but
Yeah.
it's not like a great rate. But then, the second one, assuming Zerg goes out and nothing bad has happened to us, we'll get a couple drains. So, but there's definitely some times where you can have this card and you'll go like, boom, actually, I'll drain for 6 or 5 or 10. Now, if you can consistently get that many tokens into play, I think this card is very worth playing. But just from what I was looking at the deck, occasionally you'll get 5, but it's kind of worth the risk. Like it's kind of a low risk, high reward type
Yeah,
of card.
it like in certain situations it forces people to interact with this card, you know,
Yeah,
because they're going to see it coming.
yeah, yeah. It's
So,
not like you don't know it's going to happen, but they also, yeah, they might pop it off. That's kind of actually a nice benefit now that you say that. Like you play that card, they have to like disenchant it, and you didn't even have anything big to do the next turn.
yeah,
So it can
yeah.
kind of set you up because there's probably some versions of this deck where you play like Anointed Procession and you get like extra copies of tokens. So if they're going to kill your Thunder of Unity and you were just going to play Anointed Procession anyway, like cool. But then again, if they don't kill it and you play your Anointed Procession, they don't kill that either. You get a lot of value, so a lot of life.
All right, so 2 more cards left that I want to talk about. This one is Mardu Siegebreaker, probably one of my favorite cards from the set. It costs 1 red, white, black, human warrior, 4/4, death touch, haste. When this creature enters, exile up to 1 other target creature you control until this creature leaves the battlefield. Whenever this creature attacks, for each opponent, create a tapped token that's a copy of the exiled card attacking that opponent. At the beginning of your end step, sacrifice those tokens.
Yeah, so this card is literally one of the coolest cards. Period. I love this card. It is so sweet.
Yeah,
Um, for our deck specifically, it kind of felt like it was a little bit of a win more, which I like,
yeah,
but I wanted to give more effective cards. It's just there's not a huge gate of cards that we want to put under it. We don't want to put our commander under it, which is kind of a big L for commander. A lot of times, if the card doesn't synergize with your commander, it's a lot worse.
yeah.
Um, but there are some sweet cards to put under it in this deck. It's worth trying, and if you're trying to have the most fun, definitely put this card in your deck. And I'm not anti-fun. I'm like, if you're trying to have the most fun, put this card in your deck. You're gonna put a Hero Blade Fold under it or something crazy under it. And you're just
Oh
like
my gosh.
boom, boom, boom. Put a
Yeah.
Siege Gang Commander under it. You're like boom. Here's like shoot everything. So for fun, I think this card is awesome. Awesome card. Maybe if we put some more like sweet support cards in it, like Lauren of the Third Path and stuff like that. I definitely see this card being good. I think it's sweet. You can do all sorts of things with it. It just felt like Zergo was like, I'm about tokens, and this card's like, I
Yeah.
need your one non-token thing to live that wasn't good enough to get killed that I put under me to also hit everybody. But in certain decks, this card's just gonna pop off.
Yeah.
Like, put like what's that demon from Ikoria that's like mills everyone for 4. The partner guy, like that guy, Geigen. I forget what its real name is, but you can do some fun stuff. This is the type of thing I would do with this card. Um, but yeah, I love it.
All right, last card I want to talk about, including in this deck maybe, is Inevitable Defeat. It's 1 and red, white, black, instant. The spell can't be countered. Exile target non-land permanent. Its controller loses 3 life and you gain 3 life. Now, I used to, like Crackling Doom is one of my favorite cards from the original Cons block, and this is Crackling Doom's like little brother, I think. I love this card so much.
Yeah, it's a sweet card. I can't say it's not sweet. And now that I'm thinking about it more, I think it should be in. Because my brain on removal spells lately is they have to be cheap
Uh-huh.
because of ward. But then my brain realized, reading this again, this
Can't be
card doesn't
countered.
care about ward. It can't get
Yeah.
countered. So this card's even better than that. At first, I remember reading this card the first time. I'm like, worse. I'm like, this is like worse utter end in my mind when I read it the first time. Like yeah, it's utter end, but like harder to cast. Like
Yeah.
I also thought it dealt me 3 damage. Apparently, deals them 3 damage, which I obviously didn't read this card right. But but
reading the card explains the card, Nick. Come on.
yeah, apparently. I don't know. I just 4-mana removal is unattractive to me lately. But now thinking about it, like, yeah, it can't be countered, so I can get rid of some crazy award thing. I can get rid of any permanent. It's worth it. It's still expensive for Commander.
It is for spot removal, yeah.
Yeah, but it's hitting the bill, and like it's also kind of funny that it's just like an uncounterable lightning helix. I play lightning bolt in a lot of my decks in Commander, and I'll tell you, people be like, that card's shit. Sorry, that card's bad. It's not good. Don't play it. And I have won so many games with lightning bolt in Commander. And it's not always like going to the dome. Sometimes it's like snipe your commander, snipe your whatever, or like damage, like somebody blocks some random thing. You're like, cool, your commander's now dead. If lightning bolt still has play, this is like an upscaled lightning bolt on top of it. So and the gain of life's not bad. I like the card. I think you should play it. I think you should try it out. It's definitely better than some of the removal spells in the precon.
Okay.
So.
So let's how about explain the interaction with Word on this real quick?
Yeah, so Ward says usually has it's like a ward and a number, so it'd be like Ward 2, kind of like Mobilize. And it says if a spell or ability targeted this thing that an opponent controlled, counter it unless they pay this amount of mana. Well, because of inevitable defeats uncounterable, you can get that permanent and ignore its ward text, which is pretty awesome. And some of the wards are like pay 8 life. You no longer have to pay 8 life. You're like, I just won't. So you got it, free in. And that's the cool thing about Ward. I actually kind of have a bit of a bent with Ward because I like when more cards are more playable. And I used to play cards like Grip of Desolation. It's black 4, instant, devoid, and it says exile target creature and target land. Because in our playgroup we had a lot of people who were kind of using powerful lands that were kind of like unfun. So you'd have to be like, you know what, kill your commander or kill somebody's commander. That's always relevant. And then like get rid of your Cabal Coffers, get rid of your Glacial Chasm. It was relevant in our playgroup that I played in, and I was just like, so I play cards like that. But now with the advent of Ward, you can't play like I think I even played like Into the Maw of Hell, like stuff like that. They're like really weird. It's just like 6-mana sorcery that deals 13 to a dude and like kills a land. But like Ward really pressures those cards out, so it's nice that some of these like higher end. I would love to see more higher end removal spells now getting that uncounterable ability, because it's not really gonna be that big of a deal. Like I don't think counterspell decks. It's like if you kill my one threat, usually their end game threats super hard to kill anyway.
Yeah. Like
it's not like gonna kill it. So I think it won't imbalance stuff, but this is a good way to fix it. Like here's my big removal spell. I'm investing a lot of mana into it. Like please make it stick. But yeah. I thought Ward having a cap of like Ward 3 from spells that are like 3 or less or something, but maybe that's too much text. But I love that. Sorry, diatribe on Ward.
Well, it's important to know the rules interaction with this. So
yeah, and this can go in one of your cool decks. Like I always like to play Chandra's Pyromancer's Goggles. It like lets when you play a red spell with it, you can copy the red spell. And I had a deck once upon a time that was like trying to play like every Lightning Helix. So you're like Lightning Helix, War Leader's Helix. This can go into that deck now. So I just like stacking them all up. So kind of fun.
All right, so I have your permission to add this in somewhere.
Yes, please add it in. Please put it in.
Okay.
It's inevitable.
Yes. Okay, so I am going to be playing this deck on Benji the Brewer's stream on April 14th, actually. I just looked it up while we were recording because I couldn't remember the date for sure. But yeah, it's April 14th. I might sign up for another couple dates, but all us ambassadors are getting together and kind of tweaking some decks. And I brought in Nick to help me because he's the master deck builder. And well, much better than me. So yeah, so I'll be playing this deck on Benji the Brewer stream on April 14th, so you can look at it then. Every Monday in April, 14, 21, 28, he's doing streams. So go check him out over on Twitch, and I'll link it to in the description here, so you can go check out his streams. You can watch me make a fool of myself on the 14th and pilot this deck like a noob, but I'll try to.
He needs me there on the stream in his ear, like, hey, don't do that, please, God.
I'll have you watching, and I'll have a camera so you can kind of pilot. Over.
I'll be sending him instant messages like, "What are you doing? Stop! No!"
I'll have my headphones on. You can just, like we're cheating at chess or something. But
yeah, perfect.
So, well, do you have anything else to say about this deck?
Just kind of, I like to build my decks to be fun and to like, build onto themselves and build on their theme. If you're new to Commander and you're just like, I don't know what's going on, do small things like this. Like changing 10 cards out of your deck is a big change. Changing 20 cards deck, changing your commander. This is kind of a great experience. If you bought this deck and you wanted to switch over, you're going to kind of see the big differences. Like I cut many of the cards that were, for the sacrifice theme and stuff like that. Just try to make sure you're always building your deck towards your commander's strengths and not trying to do too many things at once. So this one just to me said attack, make tokens, keep tokens, make them big. So, but yeah, I'm glad to have been able to put out a little piece of content for our team Mardu and hopefully guide us on the way to victory. What was the thing from Ruinous Ultimatum? Destroy all your opponents? I don't know, something like that.
Strength comes from community. Together we can destroy any enemy. So together,
That's right.
Together, me, you, and Nick, we can destroy any enemy. So
that's right.
All right. I think that's all I've got. I enjoyed the deck tech. Thank you for brewing this deck up with me, and I will try to pilot it the best I can on the 14th.
Let's get them.
So yeah, so that's all I got tonight for this podcast. It's kind of a break from our traditional format, but hopefully you guys got your SpongeBob secret layers and your Deadpool secret layer. So, but all right,
I got mine.
That's it from me and Nick. So don't forget to like, shower, and subscribe, and we will see you guys next time.